Hello and welcome to another episode of our Speakeasy podcast. We've got
Gian.
and I am Ken. What is up, guys?
What's up, folks?
How we doing? We're gonna do something fun today, guys, and maybe it's not fun. I don't know. It's semi-fun. We went to shout out to Tito over at Ghost Talk because he's the one who originally told us about this, and we were sitting there the one time, and he's like, "You guys like Underberg?" And we're like, "Unda what?"
From Under?
He's like, "Here," and he gave us these little bottles. I ended up picking up some just to put it on the show at some point, which we're doing today. And we had them again in the city that time at the
to that speakeasy.
That speakeasy.
That took us an hour to figure out how to get into.
What?
We're waving at the camera. I'm like knocking.
And John's like, the door doesn't open. And I'm like, John, after like 10 minutes, I'm like, let me try. I open the door, the door just opens.
Waving at the camera, everything, man. Knocking, special knocks.
She actually gave it to us too. She even charged us. She's like, "Yeah, just take them. No one gets these things."
Yeah.
You know.
Like,
but Tito had gave it to him. I'm like, "What is it, man?" He's like, "It's like a European digestive."
God, maybe that'll work right now. Good.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking. Underberg is a herb bitters taken for digestion. It is not a beverage, not to be sipped, but take all at once and quickly because of its aromatic, strong taste.
Take after a good meal. Hey.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we had a good meal before.
To feel bright and alert.
Yeah.
Where'd you get this?
I don't know, Amazon or something, maybe?
Yeah. You can buy alcohol on Amazon?
Because it's medicinal, I think you can.
Oh.
So.
Underberg.
Yeah, it's got this paper wrapper.
Oh, God. If I remember correctly, this wasn't the best taste in the world.
I remember it being like licoricey, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
Like a.
Look how cute this little guy is. Look at
Yeah.
cute.
It's a. Yeah. It looks like I'm going to drink soy sauce or something.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing it, and just for fun. This is like. Hopefully, we both have been complaining, a little bit about our digestive issues. Yeah. Okay. Don't puke.
Down the hatch.
Down the hatch.
Coming out cool.
Mm-hmm. Did I ever tell you I hate licorice? Unda. Sounds like underwear. Oh, man.
Oh, it's spicy.
No, it's not spicy.
I don't know, something's on my tongue.
Yeah, it's very, very bitter. Extremely
They need
bitter.
to make the hole a little bigger so it just comes out faster.
I know. Don't put. It's like putting me through torture. Why are you punishing me, Unda?
My eyes are teared up
I know. It is.
like underwear. Oh, God. It's 44% alcohol, though. I know it's a drop. It's less than a shot.
I know.
That's great. 20 milliliters.
I know, but I call it like a placebo, or I don't know. My stomach was feeling like, and I feel like a nice cozy warmth in there right now.
Right,
Man.
that fast?
I don't know. Maybe it's doing something, or maybe, like I said, maybe it's just in my head, which it probably is.
Underberg.
Unda.
That's great. I'm
Yeah.
going to have to pick some of that up.
Yeah. Does it have an expiration? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Because it has alcohol, so it probably doesn't have an expiration, right? Yeah, but I got to take a swig of water, though. You know, back in the day, that's all things were. Remember, like, back in Prohibition, people were getting prescriptions for whiskey and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that was the only way they could get their alcohol. But a lot of things were medicinal. Wasn't like, I mean, Coca-Cola, I think, was medicinal originally. And some of those big name products, that's how they got their start.
Yeah, Amazon, $32.95. Let's see, Wonderberg Natural Herb Bitters.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
12-pack. Let's see.
I don't know if mine was a 12-pack. Maybe it was. It probably was. If it came in a box like that.
Bitters for digest. They have all different types of stuff here, man. Yeah, it's for digestion.
Yeah.
And then they have all different other stuff that's similar to that for digestion. Maybe we should start doing this more often on a daily basis.
Yeah, I know.
I wonder if
Like,
this will work for real.
yeah.
Oh, God. It's like
It's just that
lingering
taste.
on my
Yeah, the
mouth.
taste though in the mouth. Yeah, it's kind of
Traditional remedy. These herbal bitters have been used as a digestive aid for over 150 years.
yeah. Well, it must be working if it's lasted that long.
Made in Germany. Huh. Explore maybe the famous bitter in the world. After a big fat burger, have a Underberg.
Yeah.
It's kosher.
I saw something online,
can
like
still have it.
someone had a recipe for like Amish, like penicillin or something like that, or they call it. It's just like all these natural, but natural's not always a bad thing.
I bought Amish PC. What is it? CBD?
Oh,
I bought Amish CBD. You're supposed to like put the on your tongue, like with the dropper.
Yeah,
They didn't do anything for me.
dude. I mean, I know weed is legal in New Jersey, but like, don't you still need like specific licenses to sell it?
I would think so.
Every one of these
Gas stations.
yeah,
So.
I'll go in. I'll see jars of buds,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
I don't know. I mean, maybe if you're allowed to sell cigarettes, you're allowed to sell that.
I don't know.
I
I
have
think
no
you have to be a
clue.
dispensary technically.
I think if you're a I think you have to be a dispensary to sell, like, the oil and.
I don't know. I know that New York was cracking down on those kind of shops.
Yeah, like if you go to a gas station in New Jersey, you can't buy like I mean, you're not supposed to buy like a vape pen with the oil in it.
But it's
That's supposed to be illegal to just sell. Like you need a license for that.
Yeah.
Bud, I mean, I don't know. I mean, can you grow your own bud?
Yeah, I
Is
don't.
that legal?
I'm not sure, but it's. I'm burping that up now. It's interesting though because, like, it's like legit like buds and like they have like those weed cones on next to the register and things like that. And I was like, what? I'm like,
Well, you been buying them up?
no, but you like it's just funny because when I was a kid, you know, if you saw something like that, you'd be like, oh my god, this is nuts. It's just times are changing so much.
What's it called? Marijuana? If I put weed, it might not be.
Yeah. Well,
I spelled marijuana. I used a W. Damn Wonderberg.
Underberg. I don't know. It tastes horrible, but if it worked, I would consider it. It's like taking a shot of apple cider vinegar, the mother's apple cider vinegar. You know, they say it's supposed to be really good for your system.
Yeah, they do. But it's disgusting.
Yes, it is horrible. I actually tried it. My stepdad had done it, and he lost some weight apparently when he was doing it. But I tried it, but it just gave me such an upset stomach though. Like I was like on the can. I was like, I don't know if this is what I want to be feeling like trying this out.
Licensed dispensaries, it says.
Yeah, just licensed dispensaries, I think. Yeah, but I see like it's like every freaking convenience
Purchasing
store.
cannabis from any other than these locations is illegal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's like, I mean, I'm talking
And
like a lot.
You can't grow it. It's illegal to grow it at home.
Yeah. I've heard of people doing that, though. Yeah. But anyways.
Anyway, let's move on to something that tastes a little bit better, please.
John brought something, which this is 2 weeks in a row for you, buddy. Bringing some bourbon over here. And this is one we've had a different variation from this company. But this one here is Old Pepper Distillery. This is a bottle and bond. So obviously 100 proof because it's bottle and bond. And coming out of Lexington, Kentucky. It's Kentucky's oldest brand. It's funny. I saw someone selling one on like Facebook or something. It was like an Old Pepper from like the 70s or something like that.
Nice.
It was they were asking pretty penny. I felt like. But yes, distilled bottle at the historic Pepper Distillery in Lexington, Kentucky. I mean, should I read a little on, you think, or no?
Sure.
Lexington, Kentucky. It was initially built in 1880 by Colonel James E. Pepper. He was the third generation to produce Old Pepper whiskey, the oldest and best brand of whiskey made in Kentucky. It was there that Colonel Pepper produced his famous high-grade whiskey, of which he was a flamboyant promoter. What's it? What do you mean flamboyant promoter? Was he like,
hey, try my whiskey?
This whiskey now.
This whiskey is good. It'll give you boobs.
Indeed, legend has it that the old-fashioned cocktail was invented in his honor. Interesting. which he subsequently
That was part of
introduced
our episode.
to the world during his frequent stays in New York City.
Yes, we did talk about that.
Yes, the distillery operated until 1967, when both it and the brand were abandoned for 50 years. After a decade of historical research and renovation, the brand was relaunched and the distillery was rebuilt, filling its first barrel in 2017. So they're fairly new now as a newer distillery. I think I remember hearing this story.
Okay.
Where they basically try to replicate or duplicate
The old school.
the old stuff. Yes, the new owners or whatever, and they, tried to basically resurrect it and everything. Well, I gotta pour it, right? Yeah, maybe we should drink some.
And you mentioned it is a bottle and bond, so it's 100 proof.
Yes.
So a little backstory. I got this for Christmas. My sister, my siblings and their... Wow.
Sorry. All right. There we go.
Yeah, got me in our annual grab bag. Instead of buying for everybody, we do a little Secret Santa between my wife, my siblings, all that. And my sister, knowing that I like bourbon, went to a liquor store and asked the lady working, like, what's a good bourbon for a gift?
Yeah.
And she asked what I like.
Yeah.
She said, my sister said, I don't know. He likes it all. So the lady says, it's, I like the my husband drinks the Old Pepper and she said, all right, I'll take it. And then when I went back to that same liquor store, I told the lady, I said, I'm the one that my sister bought the bourbon for. And she's like, did you like it? You should talk to my husband, blah, 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 blah. And it was a good choice.
Yeah. Well, it's a safe choice, too.
Safe choice, yeah.
Because at 100 proof, it's not going to be super boozy, but it's not going to be too under boozy, if that's a word.
I don't know what this bottle usually goes for, but I believe in the store there, I believe it was 70.
Yeah.
70?
Okay. And we had I just grabbed it. We had the GMZ
That's
Pepper
the GMZ
decanter.
Pepper, yeah,
yes.
I remember that.
This one is on a lot of lists for best of 2024, I feel like, as far as...
it's a beautiful bottle.
Yeah, it's a cool bottle. Yeah, definitely cool bottle. Yeah, so let's give this a nose, man. Brown sugar.
I get a little apple.
Yeah, I can see that. Spiced apple.
Yeah, spiced apple, right? Like a spicy cinnamon
Apple pie, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Candy. It's got good nose,
I feel
man.
like it the oak. You could smell the oak a little bit.
Yeah. Which is, most of the time, you're going to smell some of that oak, I feel like.
Cinnamon, yeah, but we will cinnamon with the apple.
Yeah.
I just touched my upper lip. There's so much in here just to smell it.
One day we're going to pour it in our nose. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Your sister's done good.
Wow, it's good.
Yeah.
I've had it before, but it tastes.
Yeah.
It tastes better when you're drinking it with somebody. You ever notice that?
Sometimes. Maybe it's because we just had an Underberg.
Underberg.
It's gonna taste. It's like you've watched Beer Fest, and they drink the goat's piss, and they said anything after that, it's gonna taste delicious, and drink it much faster.
I'm not getting any burn. It's very smooth.
I am getting a little heat.
It's not crazy.
Yeah.
The flavor point is there.
Yeah. As far as it's slight color's pretty nice. I would say it's a light to medium kind of color.
Yeah. A little darker than the Whiskey Thief.
That we had. Yeah. Light to medium. I would say that was light, and this is light to medium.
Yeah.
And it's
still not very viscous, though.
not super viscous, but
I get a little bit of a. I could taste the apple a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Green apple with the cinnamon.
Yeah, definitely.
Got that little spice to it.
Yeah.
A little bit of vanilla.
And that oakiness. I think the nose matches the palate.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think it does.
I feel like I get a little rye in there, though.
Well, there might be in the mash. Who knows? Yeah. not sure what does it say. I don't see.
Well, my new favorite page is Breaking Bourbon. Let's see if I go on there. Overall, it's lighter in nature. Old Pepper Bourbon Bottle and Bond is a traditional bourbon that doesn't reveal its spicy underpinnings until the very end.
Yeah, I could see that.
The mash bill is undisclosed.
That's what I was just about to look up. Right.
It could be one of four. 51% corn, 45% raw rye, 40% malted rye. 51% corn, 40% malted. Yeah, it's unclosed. They have 4 mashes that they use, so it could be any one of those 4 mashes.
All right.
It was good. Good stuff.
Yeah, I think this would be, for me personally, I would say this would be like a daily go-to, like a nice evening sipper, you know? It's one that if I would probably find myself grabbing more often than not compared to some of my other things, because it just seems like a nice go-to. And it's got nice heat. Not like too in your face boozy, it's
nice with the water.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do a dropper. See how we got.
No, I told my sister I would shout her out and let her know when we do it on the episode. Good choice. Thank you. Merry Christmas to me. I'll be enjoying this for a while to come.
Yeah, this is solid. I like it, man. Very good. Very good.
I'm not gonna lie. I opened it that night.
Yeah.
Because I wanted her to try it as well.
Yeah, did she drink
it? Touched
that?
her lips, and she was like, blah, blah, blah. How do you do this? My dad, same thing. What are you thinking? How do you do it? What are you thinking?
It's not something that just happens.
No, it took me a long time.
Yeah. I mean, even, we've said the story many times, even when you had an old-fashioned for the first time, you're like, you know?
Yep, I had to water that down a lot.
And, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that's everyone, though. When I had my first cocktail or whatever, but then when you know what happens? I find that towards the end when the ice does melt and it does get a little watered down, you're like, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And you start to develop some taste for it, and then it gets even. Well,
that's what I told my sister and my father. I said, I drink it. I drink it right out of the bottle. I go, maybe if this was cold or if there was an ice cube or watered it down, you might like it.
Yeah. For me, I guess a lot of it with whiskey had started with, it's going to sound silly, but going to weddings and stuff, open bars. Yeah. I used to be like, I'm not getting beer if I have an open bar. I want to get something, So even if I didn't like it, I was doing my Irish whiskey and I was drinking a lot of that. I was like, even if I did like a Jameson and ginger or something or like a Jack and Coke or whatever, I was kind of getting a little bit of a taste for it.
Yeah, I was doing that with the Captain Morgan and ginger was my wedding go-to.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, being a bourbon guy, as far as bourbon beers, like your Goose Island or your
I'm not a big fan.
I'm not a big fan of the bourbon, like the bourbon stouts or this.
Same.
I don't know what it is. Why I can like bourbon so much in this form, but I don't like it when it's mixed with some of that. Yeah.
Same.
I had a guy real quick. I know I had a guy the other day. I ordered an old fashioned, and it was a Mexican restaurant. He's like, "Oh, you want a tequila old fashioned?" I was like, "No, I don't do tequila." He's like, "You got to get the anejo or whatever." He's like, It's not like in your face tequila, like that very tequila-y. I don't know a better way to put it. But I was like, I don't know. I'll stick to my whiskey.
I wanted to do the tequila thing because I feel like the tequila thing now is what the bourbon was maybe a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it. And I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Bad things happen when tequila. It's just.
Apparently, bad things happen when bourbon comes.
Yeah, that's true. Bad things just happen.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get into something else.
No, I hear you. Yeah,
even last night, I went to a Mexican restaurant last night, and they had old fashioned on the menu.
Yeah.
They had one with Angel's Envy, and they had one with a tequila.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'd try a sip of it before I bought. I wouldn't be opposed to trying a sip. But back to this Old Pepper, solid stuff.
Solid.
Thanks to your sister for giving that. That's
Ken finally likes something I brought.
No, I like that.
You fumbled his. I like to do this.
Good stuff.
Cheers.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, are you burping up that Underberg or no?
I am.
A little bit.
I am.
It's better the Underberg than the big sandwiches.
But I feel like the Underberg gave me like a buzz, though.
Yeah.
Real fast.
It's nice. It's like a pick-me-upper, right?
Yeah, pick me until you get half of a glass of bourbon next to it.
I know.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, I got to finish that.
Think of the concoction we have in our stomach right now. We have beer, because we had some beer before this. Beer, bourbon, Underberg, and for me, it was a steak Parmesan sandwich in my stomach.
And that was a garlic mayo BLT. And I was chewing on the garlic pieces.
And it's all just hanging out right now.
Maybe in the bathroom for 3 days.
Or maybe this Underberg, if you're fine after this, you know the Underberg worked.
I hope so.
But yeah, so big news.
It's January 21st today.
We have a new president.
We have a new president.
Yes. Unless we're recording this a little bit.
No, we're not. We're on point. We're good.
Something happens.
It is January 21st.
Yes.
And Donald J. Trump. What does the J stand for? James? Johnson? Johan? Jamie? Jimbo? Donald J. Trump is our 47th president.
Yeah.
So he's 45 and 47.
Yeah.
Which
has only happened one other time, I think.
Yes. Do you remember who it was?
No.
Grover Cleveland?
Was it?
Yeah.
It's one of those things like sometimes people don't realize what they had until it was gone, and they're like, oh, wait, it could be this bad.
Exactly.
And I don't know.
It was only the second time in history. Inauguration Day was the same as Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Bill Clinton was inaugurated on MLK Day as well.
Okay.
And that's it. Only twice in history. Although, I mean, MLK Day only started in, the 60s or 70s. So.
Yeah.
Not really like this that long. But
I guess it could have potentially happened MLK in the 1800s.
Yeah. That would have been weird.
Yeah. You ever see those things, man? They have like a photo, and they show the same exact person from a photo from like.
What they would look like now?
No. Like they have photos from like present and they see the same person in both photos, like time travelers, I guess.
Oh, the time travelers.
Yeah.
You don't believe in the time travelers?
No.
Okay.
No. But like, how can this person be in the same place? Or whatever.
They can. It's called Photoshop.
Yeah, I know.
So, inauguration, the same. So Donald Trump became president again in the same spot where he tore up the Capitol building over in 20. No, I know it wasn't. I don't believe it was him.
Did you watch those? You ever watch those videos of the people who were recording? Like the one video where a guy's like, "Hey," he's telling the cops, like, "You guys need to get in," and they're just like standing there, like,
because they want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Either they were told to let that happen, or they were really scared.
And you see the cops telling people when they're walking in there, "Oh, just walk that way," and whatever, and yeah. And is it true that the one person I got to check this out? That the one person that did die was shot by their own people? Like it was something like. In the wrong place or something like that?
No.
Maybe.
I believe they were shot by. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I did watch the documentary about it, but I don't remember. The Wonder Bar is just killing my memory now.
The Underberg.
Wonder Bar.
Wonder Bar. But anyways, we're not going to talk about that. But it's
remarkable. I think it's remarkable. I think it's remarkable how our country was. Like, no, Donald Trump is a jerk. We're going to go with Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, blah, blah, blah. The country's going to get better. Yeah. We need the Democrats in. And then halfway through, the country said, oh, shit, what did we do?
Yeah.
We need somebody else back in. And Donald Trump won in basically a landslide.
Yeah.
And I think it's a remarkable thing how the country came together to correct itself almost, and admitted, we kind of effed up. Maybe we should have let this guy have a second term.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty remarkable, and I think it says a lot for Americans.
Yeah, it does. And that's the power to decide, the power to. But there's still plenty of Americans that question that last election.
Absolutely.
And they said that how did this? The numbers didn't work.
The numbers never worked to begin with.
Yeah, and they're like, how did this? This doesn't make sense. How can we have this many votes? It just didn't make sense. Apparently,
we went to sleep with Donald Trump winning the election, for his second term, and we woke up and Joe Biden was our new president.
Yeah.
Something was weird, but we accepted it.
Yeah.
We took it in chin, right? We weren't.
Well, I think a lot of people knew he'd be back. A lot of people knew that he'd come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if, hopefully he does a great job.
I think he's going to be more humble this time around. I do.
He already seems like he has. I mean, he's still he is still a big mouth, but I think he's not. He's tamed down some. I
believe
feel
so.
like.
I believe so.
Because I mean, he has to remember it's not just about pleasing the whatever people that voted for you. It's about trying to get the people who didn't vote for you on your side as well to make the country more whole.
And I think he's got a vice president who's a little different, who he thinks he can probably mold.
Yeah.
Whereas Pence wasn't that kind of guy.
No.
You weren't molding Pence into what you wanted in the future.
He's old school values, old school ways, old school.
Yeah. Where Vance is a more new school guy that can learn.
Young guy.
Yeah. So
younger than us. Yeah. He's.
Now he gets or got. So Vance goes first, right? In a normal inauguration, Vance gets inaugurated first. Trump gets inaugurated second.
Yeah.
All the old presidents show up.
Yeah.
They're supposed to.
You think Kamala will be there?
That sucks about we're recording before the inauguration. We're talking about the inauguration.
Oh, so sorry. I'm backwards. We are recording ahead of time. My
Kamala
bad.
is supposed to hand off to Vance, right? Just like the president is supposed to. They're supposed to walk down the stairs of the White House.
Yeah.
They shake each other's hand.
Yeah.
Biden's supposed to leave Trump a note. Good luck. Here's blah blah blah.
But she did do the January 6th, whatever readings, and she did. She was pretty good with it.
She had to.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, she did. I honestly, I don't want to say I felt bad, but it's funny how like when she had to say. Like, Donald Trump's now been elected, and then you see the Speaker of the House get up, like, right next to her, and he's, like, all excited, and she's just like,
Yep.
Listen, you take it on the chin, and you move on.
Yes.
You go disappear into your little hole.
Well, that's the thing. She made herself look, I think, better by doing what she did and being a good sport about it, although at Carter's funeral, she seemed like she was not... She seemed like she was... I mean, granted, it's a funeral, but I mean, it's a funeral of a guy who should have died 30 years ago, but...
Who wasn't a good president at all, really.
No, they said about Jimmy Carter.
Was one of the worst.
They said that he did more for the country and for people after he was president than he did while he was president, and he even admitted that.
Yeah, but and I don't blame her. She was thrown into this shit, man. Like she wasn't picked to be.
No. They didn't go through the formal process of electing someone. They did it because they knew Biden would lose. That was a sure thing he would lose.
And she was thrown into this, and I think she got a little cocky thinking, too. It was a no-brainer because it's Donald Trump. But
and George Clooney was not a fan of Biden, and they said, we're not giving you our money.
Yeah. We love George Clooney. The best Batman.
The best, is he?
No. So, yeah, it's pretty cool second time around, right?
Yeah.
And then the normal inauguration day, the presidents, shake hands. The one flies off into the sunset in the helicopter. And then the new one comes. They have lunch. They walk down the Congress Street, or
and
whatever it is,
and it's gonna not to sound bad because we know it's MLK Day, but a lot of people have off, so they can watch it.
Yeah, I'll be watching it. Two things I really like and I think are pretty historical is when all the presidents get together for inauguration and like funerals. I like watching the funerals where all the presidents are in one room.
Yeah,
I think it's cool stuff. Like,
but it was a great ceremony.
And I love watching. It was great. It was flawless.
It went. Meanwhile, we don't know.
Trump's wife looked. She was beautiful. She looked great.
Yes. His son Barron is about 7'4" now.
Yeah.
And
I watched a little video about him of how he's the one being groomed to be the next, not really Trump Jr. or the other one. Like, it's going to be him. He's been to these schools where he's learning.
Yeah.
He speaks with respect. He never smiles because you're not supposed to show your emotion. Mm-hmm. I watched this weird thing about him.
Yeah.
He says the right things.
Yeah.
What was that one where he met somebody for like the first time and he said like great to see you instead of saying nice meeting you.
Yes.
And they were like, he's very proper and he's being trained that way because he may be the one to take over all the Trump things.
Well, think about it though. When Trump was listen, it's not like his older sons can't learn things now, which I'm sure they are, but do you think Donald Trump ever said 30 years ago, I'm going to be president of the United States.
No, hell no.
The only thing I saw was the interview.
He said, "I'm going to be in Home Alone 2." That was his.
Yes, I it's funny when I watch that with my son, and I'm like, "There's the president right there," and he's like, "That's him." Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah,
that's him."
And
the guy's in the WWE Hall of Fame.
I know, right?
Come on.
I know, but I think that he didn't. The only time that he mentioned he was on. I don't know if you ever saw the video of him on Oprah.
Yes.
And she said something. Would you ever consider being in politics or running? He's like, it would have to be bad. He's like, I'd have to be almost forced to do it because in the country has to be in a state where I need to step in and try to help. And
it was, and it is, and here we go.
And
round 2.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's 2025 now.
Mm-hmm.
When did he go in the first time? It was 16. It seems like forever ago, dude.
Yeah,
2017?
Yeah, because of
17,
25,
18, 19, 20. No.
Wait.
It was 16, right? 16, 17, 18, 19, and then...
It's got to be an odd number when he got inaugurated. Because the election's always even.
Yes, you're right. Because Trump was in office in 2020 during the... He lost in 2020.
Yeah.
And Biden took over in 2021. So 17, 18, 19, 20. 17, that's 8 years ago, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he looks the same, I think.
He does look the same.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting though with these almost endorsements in ways now after the fact that he's been elected. I mean, especially with social media. Elon Musk, which was he was a left liberal. He was just not a. I think there's a difference between being a liberal and left. And then being like a woke liberal, and someone that is like that. I think that's what really hurt Kamala too.
Like this is not working.
Yeah.
Type of.
Yeah. And Kamala was she was extreme when it came to certain things.
Yeah.
And I think
you think she was extreme because she was expected to be extreme, or you think that's really? I don't know much about her. She was originally riding on the coattails of Joe Biden, though. I mean, and that's how he was too. Right.
He was very. They pushed issues. They pushed the issues that weren't really ones that people wanted. They cared as much about. And I hate to say it, but there's certain things that are more important to people. Mm-hmm. And between like say abortion and pro-life and all that, and
the border.
Yeah, there's more things. Yes, there was things that were more on the top of people's list. Abortion. How many people does? Let's just say, most people who have abortions aren't getting raped or they're not getting anything of that sort.
They fucked up.
I would say majority of it, a huge majority of it. So it's one of those things that you can actually, as a human being, have a little bit more control over. On. Okay, you can't have an abortion. Well, then maybe I should be a little bit more careful and make sure I'm having safe and practices, So, so that, like I said, I don't think that was necessarily, for most people, that wasn't the top of their list.
Oh, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I don't think so either. I think our economy and the price of groceries and gas, and I think the border was the top of everybody's list.
Yeah.
Healthcare is there. But I don't think it's a top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Where the Democrats are like, well, it's about healthcare, it's about abortions, it's about women's rights, and women never lost their rights.
Yes, exactly.
Women are more just as powerful almost as powerful as men right now.
Yeah.
Women could do anything, and I think the Dems kind of tried to use women as a way to try to sneak in there.
Well, that's the thing. They played the public for fools, and that was the problem. They thought that they can puppet, be a marionette with everyone, and just say, oh, this is how these people think. This is how the blacks think. This is how the gays think. This is how, and we're just going to try to put our stuff out there like that because that's what they want to hear. And then I think they didn't realize that's not what they all wanted to hear.
The traditional gays, the black race, the Spanish race, they were like, no, you can't speak for us.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly. And a lot of them didn't like the whole LGBTQ, the other letters.
They don't want the other letters, no. They want to be left alone. Yeah. They don't want Yeah, we talked about this.
Yes.
They don't want to be out and about in the world. Like, they don't want to be the focal point of attention. Let us live our lives the way we are.
Yes. And like I said, that's what the whole woke thing, and that's and they played on the younger generation, and they said this younger generation, they're all going to vote for us, and they're going to all vote. But the younger generation, you're looking at what, a 10-year gap of young. What's considered younger? 18, because that's when they could vote. Say 18 to 30 or something. You know, even 18 to 25 is probably more realistic of what's considered the younger voters. And you have voters out there that are 25 to 80 still voting, and if you focus too much on the one, you know.
I think the 25 to 30, 35 group are the issue right now.
Yeah.
Those are the dum-dums of our society. I think the 18 to 25 are more like no, something needs to change here.
Yeah.
You know, maybe Trump's not the bad guy. He's somebody we need, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like the younger kids are getting a little smarter about what's going on. Where that middle-aged kids are like, you know, you can't call me a man. You can't call me a woman. I want to be a doggy.
Yes.
You know, like that's the idiot range.
Well, it's even more idiotic is when the parents try to almost push it on their kids.
Not even push it, but accept it, because it's like, well, I can't tell you no.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Well, I just think that some parents are like, you know, it's okay if you feel this way. It's okay if you want to touch other men or this or that or whatever. You know, it's okay.
That's that 35, 30-year-old parent there. You know, I deal with it with coaching like child sports.
Yeah.
You know, you got to watch what you say. You got to watch what you do, because the parent that's 30 years old and their kid's 5 or 6, you know, they have to go to the bathroom. They went to the bathroom 6 times.
It's
you
funny
have to let them. No.
It's funny.
How about run a lap?
That you say that about the younger, because we've said it numerous times, because we are the older parents, I guess you would say. You were too, I guess, right? You're kind of the older, as far as being the older dad or older, but and that's what we are. My wife and I, with our son, we're kind of little older parents, and we see a lot of those young parents that are 30 or whatever, and we're 14, 15 years older and stuff than some of these parents. We don't click with them at all.
No, because our generation was our generation was brought up by the baby boomers. And, you know, I think some of our generation, Gen X, are right below us. The 80s babies, the late 80s, early 90s babies, are the ones that are like, well, you can't tell me what to do. They're the ones that, I got an F because my teacher hates me. No, you got an F because you didn't study, you know?
But it's
those are those parents now.
But it's interesting, though, too, because I work with people who, a lot of them are 10, 15 years older.
Than you?
Yes. And most of them.
Okay.
And they have kids that are either graduating high school or are in college or out of college.
Yeah.
You know, and starting lives, like getting married and things like that. And a lot of them, more like the ones that have kids that are, so let's just say the people who are in their early to mid 50s, let's just say.
Those are the parents that are the problems.
They are yes.
Yeah, and their kids are the problem.
And I could see it. And I even they it's funny seeing, because they were the kids of the flower what do they call them? The hippies?
The baby boomers. That's the flower power.
Well, I think our
parents are baby boomers.
Yeah, but they weren't that's not the same generation, I don't think, as the hippie kids.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I find
and Gen X has hippie kids too, because Gen X is like 1969, 1970. So that's us.
Yeah. But I find that I'm the one looking at them like they're doing something wrong sometimes. And when they're like, "Oh yeah, I bought my 16-year-old a couple cases of White Claw. They're having a party and this and that," and I'm like, "Are you
stupid?"
Yeah. Sometimes I'm kind of like, wait, and I hear it from them. I'm like, oh yeah, my daughter gets served at places. I'm like, are you? There's something wrong here.
I just had this conversation because I'm on a board of directors for recreation, and a lot of the guys, their kids are like 17, 16 in high school, and they're like, I'd rather their friends come to my house and drink because they know they're safe, I know they're home.
Yeah.
No, I don't want my kids drinking at that age at all.
Yeah.
You guys better be sneaking it if you're drinking. You know, like,
yeah, dude.
I'm not providing you with anything. No.
I came home even when I had a couple drinks when I was younger, and I'm like, "Hey guys, how's everything?" And I'm early night, going to bed right now.
In my head, I'm like, act normal, act normal, act normal, act normal.
Yeah, act normal.
You know,
kind of tired, long day. Yeah, gonna go to sleep.
Listen, my kids want to bend the rules. They better do it behind my back, and they better be successful.
That's the way we did it.
Yes,
and so that's
work hard for that.
So, but how come but how come we turned out that way, and the people that are 10, 15 years older are more?
I think those are people whose parents were not around.
Like my parents weren't hippies.
Maybe they're not around.
My parents weren't hippies.
I think maybe their parents were not around.
Yeah, maybe.
And they're trying to raise their kids a little bit different because they did stupid, bad stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, we were afraid to get caught.
Yeah.
Where these people weren't afraid to get caught. They just did stuff. And they're like, I'm going to help my kid have this, the fun life.
Yeah.
I want to be the fun parent. Where our parents were like, no, there's no fun parent. We're going to be the strict parent and follow the rules.
Yeah.
And we were brought up correctly. And we are doing with our kids the same way our parents did with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I mean, I don't know if it's generational or if it's just, it's parent-wise. My dad did a lot of crazy, stupid shit when he was a kid because his parents weren't around.
Yeah.
My grandfather worked. My grandmother was a homebody.
Was he?
And he went out and did whatever he wanted.
Was that, what do you call it, latchkey or something like that? Or there was a term for that. It's for kids that their parents aren't home when they come home from school and they have their key.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I mean, my grandmother was a homebody. Like they weren't on them.
Yeah.
They let them roam around and do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Whereas my dad was like, now, I did a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah.
I got in trouble. I'm not doing that with my kids. I'm going to be more strict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
now we could have went either way. I could have said my dad was so strict that I'm not doing that to my kids. I want my kids to have fun.
Yeah.
But no, I think I turned out good.
Yeah.
And I snuck. We did our stuff.
Yeah.
But
I think in certain aspects I did do that, though. I did do the opposite of my father, let's just say, who was very strict with sports, very strict with certain things. And because I was raised that way, and I knew how much I didn't like it, with my son now, I'm kind of like, don't worry about it. It's all right,
Well, there's different things, right? Like that part, yeah. But there's going to be a time where your dad would have beat the shit out of you if you were 15 years old and you went into his liquor cabinet and drank all his liquor.
Yeah, but we didn't have alcohol in my house.
I'm going to do that too.
Yeah. Believe it or not, we had no alcohol in my house growing up.
You're making up for
it. So it goes both ways, I guess.
Where I'm home and I'm looking to now build a little bar or something in the basement for my own stuff.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, I think we should, get something that locks because, we don't want the kids and their friends coming over and taking some of your stuff.
I have a camera that faces this bar. Yeah. So.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. It's always facing the bar, and it
works.
Yeah. Shit. So I can always
I'll put it back later.
Yeah, I can always look to see make sure that there's.
I'll put it back.
I actually have this is like a door that pulls out. So now my son can open it probably, but when he was younger, I could shut it if I wanted to. If he was down here, it's
There's a door there.
Yeah. See that thing right there?
Yeah.
It just pulls out.
Never even realized that.
And I could latch it.
I've never seen it latched, I guess.
Yeah, shut the section off if I needed to. But yeah, I mean, anyways, let's go back to...
That was a weird...
We're going off track.
Off track, right?
Yeah. So, as new president with Trump, what do you hope to see in the next 4 years?
I hope to see a lot of things, but I also am not stupid enough to where things are going to change tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. Even though a lot of his talk and when he was going for re-election and campaigning, his campaigning was, on day 2 you're going to see this. On day 3 the borders are going to be closed. On day 4 there's going to be no Mexicans in New York City.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's going to take time. Things are going to take time.
And that's what makes it difficult is that with these presidents a lot of times
4 years sometimes is not enough.
It's not enough. And with him is he worked hard to get things the way he wants it in 4 years. Then someone stepped in, basically undid whatever he did, and now he has to try to bring it back again. And then in another 4 years, what's going to happen? What does that mean, though? I mean, do we need longer terms? Do we need...
I think, honestly, man, that's a hard one because, if we had longer terms, then you have a guy like our current president that would be in longer.
Yeah.
So, and then you got a guy you want that wants you want there to be longer.
Yeah.
Maybe there shouldn't be just a limited 2. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, if they're doing a good job and
doing
it works,
a good job, let them in there as long as they get elected.
Yeah.
I mean, we're electing them. Why does it have to be a certain amount of terms? Let the public figure out when the term is up,
and just let them be able to run again.
Yeah,
and go through the
let the people figure that out.
Process. I mean, I think the biggest problem with our country right now, in general, is we're still a divided country. I think we need to come together. Maybe we were ignorant to it as little kids, but then you feel more of a sense of like, no one really talked about politics when we were younger.
No,
it was never like, it was just like
there was never really a big division like there. Yeah. At least we didn't know about it.
Maybe it's always, I don't know, and we're just seeing it now because we're older. But
no, I'm thinking it's this group of people that I think going forward, you're going to see in the next maybe 8 to 12 years.
Yeah.
Maybe things start coming back together.
Yeah.
That's going to be my...
We hope.
I think so.
The people have spoken, and I think that's a big thing. I think
these younger guys will start getting along. The old school guys are starting to leave.
Yeah. And I think...
Die off.
To know that... It's not like he's a new president, okay? It's not like he's someone that... He's never been in office before, so you don't know what to expect. People voted him in. They knew what he did, and they knew they know what to expect in the future if he got back in. Biden got in for 4 years, but now to come back, it's just like, okay, we knew what he did, and we liked maybe the direction it was going. I think people were too quick to say, let the immigrants from the migrants from Mexico come in. Let them. This wall is a joke, and we shouldn't. But now, look what happens. Mm-hmm. Look what happens when you go soft. Mm-hmm. Look what happens. We have a crisis on our hands now with the migrants, and we have. Listen, I know there's always going to be bad apples, and I'm sure a lot of those migrants aren't bad people.
No.
But we see some of the bad apples out there, and just to think that if those laws were in place, maybe that 14-year-old girl would have been living. Maybe this would have. Maybe the cops wouldn't get jumped, or this or that, or the drugs or the fentanyl or any of this stuff wouldn't have came in. If we're it's almost, and that goes back to what we're saying about how the left just wants to please
themselves.
Yeah,
really.
I don't know.
And then you get a guy like Joe Biden who's really old school, and we need these old school people gone.
Yeah,
old school ways of thinking, they don't apply anymore, man. You have to evolve like everybody else does, and these guys don't want to evolve. That's why I think in another 8 to 12 years, I think it's going to be a little different. So
what do you want to see, though? Do you want to see the wall up? Do you want to see that? Do you want to see everyone start getting kicked out?
It's funny, man, because that's such a sensitive subject. You don't want to see people ripped away from their families that are already here, but you want the bad people out.
Yeah.
You want people to be here in the right way.
Exactly. No one's saying we don't want you in our country. We just want you to do what every other immigrant that came to this country did. They went through the process. They did what they had to do. It wasn't just. It's almost like. Think about it, though. A lot of them are coming in. Granted, they might be doing jobs that a lot of Americans don't want to do, but they're still taking jobs away from people. Yeah. And the government doesn't make that easy too. When they keep raising the minimum,
they're giving them free health care.
Health care. They keep raising the minimum wage, where the small business owner's like, well, I can't afford to stay in business if I have to keep paying a 17-year-old $15 to $16 an hour.
Cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they could, it's a messed up system there.
Yeah. And I don't know how I feel about it. I don't want to see a raid coming in and people are going to go into they're going to open MetLife Stadium and throw all the people in there and start deporting them one by one. I don't know. And I don't like the fact that he said, I'm going to make the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America, and Mexico is going to pay for it. Chill out.
What's your shit? What is it?
Relax.
Well,
that's the stupid shit that you say. That
but so there's a reason for that one's a little silly, but there's a reason too. But he mentioned about the Panama Canal.
Yes,
because he said that he's like it's being run by Chinese right now.
Right,
and
that's strange to me.
It's.
I want to know the facts on that more than.
Yeah, well,
sometimes he speaks out of his ass.
Yeah. But sometimes you think he's speaking out of his ass, and you're like,
he's telling the truth. No,
and
I know.
You're like, he was right.
I know.
And which we see more often than not, I feel like lately, where he'd say something, and then you're like, oh wait, there is some truth to that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was surprised. You would hope he would know. But yes, he doesn't want it in there because that's a big thing for us, the Panama Canal. And if this shit hits the fan with China, what are they gonna? Ooh. Yeah. Then we're going to have issues because of that Panama Canal and everything. So he's almost like saying, let's take care of this now because this can be an issue in the future. Let's make sure.
Shit's going to hit the fan somewhere.
Yeah, it is.
This is not going to be an easy 4 years.
Yeah.
Shit's going to hit the fan somewhere.
Yes.
His first 4 years.
He's got a lot on his plate.
There was no wars. There was no this, that.
Yeah.
He's walking into this, and I feel like now he's going in with almost a little bit of a vengeance. And
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, and then he mentioned Greenland.
That's just weird shit.
And Canada.
Yeah, Canada should be the 51st state.
But it's funny. I watched this video of a guy from I think he was from Greenland, and he's like, "I'm ready. Let's do it." Because
it's like Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Same. Like,
well, Puerto Rico has it good.
Well, they have it good. They don't want to be.
They're a U.S. territory.
We need them to be the 51st state because
they're not paying their dues the same as us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's a little bit different with them. They don't want to because they're protected by us. They get all the perks of being an American, but they don't have to pay the taxes like the Americans pay and things like that. So
who's the guy from Canada? Thibodeau?
Trudeau. Yeah.
Or he's quitting, or he quit.
He resigned.
He resigned
because he probably knows something's up.
Yeah. He
knows something's up. He knows that there's a big thing.
Trump told him that Canada nobody without us. They should be the 51st state.
Would you make it the 51st state?
No, it's gigantic.
I know. Or you just make like Nova Scotia and New Brunswick like just new states in and of themselves.
Toronto.
Yeah, that would make more sense. And make it like, I don't know how many provinces there are, but say 70 states or something, And
I don't know. Just leave fucking Canada alone, man. They're useless. Just leave them. Just let them be. Let them be. Let them be.
I mean, I have family up there, but that's my ties with Canada. But
what is your family? You don't talk. I'm sure you haven't had that conversation. But.
No, I haven't talked to them. Like it's usually only like big events, like a wedding or something. Yeah, that I see them, or a random email here and there. But yes, it's. I agree with you. Leave Canada alone. Greenland is owned by Denmark, I think.
I have no clue.
And Canada, the whole thing with Canada too is it's an English territory, I think, or something of that sort.
I thought it was French.
I know, but no.
It's not?
No.
So why do they speak French?
Because they probably said it's like why they speak French in New Orleans, in Louisiana. That's what the whole Louisiana Purchase was. They purchased from the French. Because the French owned Louisiana back in the day. And
I have no clue. Canada is like forgotten. Like Canada is just like they're there. They're just there.
Yes, I guess it was something with the French settlers, but no, I think it's English territory, and that's why I don't know if you saw they've been taking jabs at England lately and stuff because of what's
But if we invade Canada, take over Canada, it's like Russia invading Ukraine. It's there's no right thing.
I don't think it's invading. I think it's just trying to propose a deal.
Propose a deal.
Yeah, and. I don't think there's going to be like military,
There's no president in Canada, right? It's the prime minister. That's the person that runs it.
Yeah.
So with him leaving, what happens? Who's next? Is there somebody else new?
That even goes further, I think. I don't know if France has a prime, but I know England has prime minister. So I feel like it's all tied together.
Right. Well, England's got like the king. He really runs it, but the prime minister is the one that kind of runs the government with the king's backing. Is that right?
The prime minister runs it, I think, but the king can sway things.
The king can or veto or
he can do certain things that can sway, But I don't know. But that's a whole other topic. I think they need to get rid of that whole.
Maybe we should look into that. Way of life.
Yeah, like
there should be no more kings and queens.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. There. There's something with that though. I'm trying to. I'll look it up real quick about. Does England own Canada? Look at that. It pops up in my search there. Canada has been a monarchy for centuries, first under the kings of France in the 16th and 17th and 18th century, then under the British crown in the 18th and 19th century, and now as a kingdom in her own right. So I guess I don't know what that deal is. Maybe I guess they're on their own now. I don't know. Listen. Don't blame me for not knowing Canadian history, but yeah. Interesting. And then Greenland, yeah, like I said, that's owned by Denmark, I think. So,
Denmark's cool. Why do we want to mess with them?
There's a method to their madness. I think there's a reason why he would want certain things. There's a reason why, as we can see, which is a little bit more obvious, the reason for the Panama Canal.
Oh, yeah, of course. But Denmark, Greenland's just...
It's cold.
What do you want to do? It's green. It's not even green.
Yes, I know. That's what they always said. They're like, why is Iceland called Iceland and Greenland called? It should be the opposite.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because one's much colder. But I've been to Iceland, but I've not been to Greenland. But yeah, it should be interesting what happens with that. I don't listen. Like I said, I agree with the Panama thing. Maybe he should go up, but I don't know if it's the smartest thing to start
starting the pot.
Yeah, let's just get into office, take care of the issues that you kind of ran on.
Yeah, the name of the Gulf is not a big issue right now.
Yes. The things that you ran on, which was, whatever got you into office. You never mentioned Greenland. You never mentioned Panama Canal. You didn't mention this. No. Just stick to the script, at least right now. Yeah, down the line, if you want to visit some of that stuff, fine. Yeah. Or he might just say, it's going to take me 4 years to do it. Who knows? Yeah. The one thing I hope he does, and we're talking about things we hope Trump does. I want this daylight savings time to be. I do too. Over with. I'm so sick of it, man. I'm so sick. The next time it changes, it should just stay that way.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Too much, man. Accidents happen. People, I hear it's bad for the health too. Like people have.
Yeah, I don't feel good.
They wait like when you have to wake up that extra. It's the transition in the spring that's the worst because you're waking up technically kind of like an hour earlier and you're like, mentally you have to get it out of your head that it's your body's telling you it's 6 a.m. but you gotta be like, oh no, it's 7. It's 7.
I gotta be at work.
Meanwhile, you're like, I'm so tired.
I only slept for 3 hours.
It's taken me weeks at times to kind of adjust.
Yeah, I agree.
So they just need to
hopefully that did.
Plus, it's nice to have more daylight in the wintertime.
100%.
I can't stand it. It's dark, man.
No, I want to go sledding.
Yeah. So another... were you going to say something? I'm sorry.
No, I was going to wrap it up, but I know we still have one more thing you want to...
Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I've been rambling.
I was just going to mention just real quick about the... Social media. Yeah, I saw Zuckerberg talking about how they're going to stop the censorship and everything.
Good.
And the fact-checking, constant fact-checking.
And it came out that he was a little pressured to do all that stuff.
Yes, apparently he was pressured big time from the Democrats, and that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's saying, I felt a lot of pressure from the left and to do this and to put their information out. So what does that tell you?
It just goes to show you that the politics they're into their hands are in everything.
Yes.
Even little old Facebook.
And that's the thing. Like now, advertising used to be. I mean, it still heavily relies on TV commercials, but now you see advertising on social media because they know TikTok or Facebook or any of that stuff, and it's crazy how much of an influence it could put on people and the information. It's almost like saying you could hear whatever you want as long as it's what we're telling you we want you to hear.
Yeah,
to their script. And he came out and pretty much said, this is what they made me do. And now he's following the footsteps of Elon Musk, where it's a little bit, X has a little bit more of that freedom of speech.
Are they buddies or adversaries? Are they enemies? Or are they?
Well, I don't know if you remember, there was, at one point, they were trying to set up a UFC fight between the two of them.
Yeah, there was like a little war.
Yes, there was. So I don't think they're buddies necessarily. But I think...
I wonder if they're coming around.
Yes, I think Zuckerberg is saying, okay, he's onto something. The country, the majority of the country voted for Trump. If I want to survive in this game, and I got to start following those. And Elon Musk too. Like I said, he was a left, liberal, Democrat, and now he's like, no, I can't do this anymore. It's just too much. The whole wokeness. And the whole censoring. That was the big thing with Musk. And that's why he wanted to purchase Twitter. He's like, it's just the censorship. It's unbelievable how much censorship. They kicked a president of the United States off.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to do things the way they wanted to do it.
Right.
And I think Zuckerberg is kind of following that path. But it's like one of those things too. It's like, is he doing it just because he is forced to do it now?
Yeah.
If Trump was never president, he wouldn't be doing this right now.
Right.
He would still be voting for left. Now he's like kind of like kissing the ring.
He's a powerful ally, so it's not bad. It's not
Yes.
a bad person to have on your side.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's interesting.
Very.
Oh, speaking of TikTok,
Yes.
that's
Coming to an end, or
Yeah.
it did. We'll see.
We'll see.
I don't know.
Did it end? We can't read the future, even though this
I don't
will
know.
be aired after that. I
know.
think. Yeah. So
If crazy shit goes down, you might not see this episode anyway. We'll
this
see what
might
happens.
not be aired. Might not be aired. Yeah. But we'll see what happens.
I'll be sad. I love TikTok, man. I watch TikTok a lot for even just entertainment. It's funny. There's some funny things on there.
Oh, I would love to have gone on it, but I refuse to because I just don't. I don't have faith that we're not getting spied.
Yeah.
That's what I'm concerned about.
Spy on me. I don't care.
Yeah, but certain things.
Speaking
like,
of TikTok,
I have access
if
to.
it's still around, follow us. Speakeasy Podcast, guys,
Yeah.
on TikTok. As soon as we're done, I'm about to go live.
Yeah, that is all on John.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're going to go live on TikTok in a couple
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah,
See what the people have to say.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. Let's shout it out.
Yeah, let's shout it out. Shout out to your sis for
Thanks, Jess.
picking us up the
Appreciate it.
pepper.
Good gift.
Yeah,
little
very
pepper,
nice.
little
Good stuff.
salt and pepper here, and we're in.
Spinderella cut it up one time. Well, man.
What's their big song?
Let's talk about sex.
Oh,
baby.
yeah. Shut up. Push it.
Shout out to Underberg.
Underberg.
I feel better
Don't-
already.
I'm not gonna lie. My stomach is settled. Like it's
Yeah?
not gurgling.
No?
Like I
Good.
felt like I had to go to the bathroom. I was gurgling. I had garlic in my belly. I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah. No messing your
Besides-
underwear now.
Besides the buzz. Yeah, no, it's not gonna be in the underwear.
Good stuff, John.
Yeah.
Fun episode.
Good luck.
Good luck, Donald
President.
J. Trump. Yeah, President
Number
Trump.
47.
Cheers, and cheers to you.
Peace.